Good morning and welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be talking about the Gomu Gomu No Mi, or the Gum Gum fruit. Let's go! Okay, so the Gomu Gomu No Mi, or the Gum Gum fruit, is a parameteor type devil fruit that gives you the ability to become pretty much rubber and pretty much be a rubber human. And this has been eaten by none other than Straw Hat Luffy, pretty much the protagonist of the One Piece universe. And pretty much we are, and pretty much this devil fruit is a really awesome devil fruit, mainly because we've seen it showcased so many times. Now obviously I do want to talk about this devil fruit's like capabilities and all that jazz, but I'm just going to say this right now. I'm not going to mention the Gum Gum pistol or the Gum Gum rifle or all that type of stuff. We're literally going to be talking about the gears of this devil fruit, as they're more of the most powerful uses of this devil fruit, as pretty much being able to just stretch your arm like Mr. Fantastic. I don't want to really showcase, because if you're an actual One Piece fan, you know that what Luffy can do baseline with this devil fruit. So that being the case, let's get on to gear second, which is pretty much the first gear that we've actually ever seen from Luffy, and that was when he actually uses his rubber in his body to actually force his blood around his body, making his circulation faster so he can move at a much faster rate. He actually does this against Bluno for the very first time, where he actually pretty much uses this to the advantage to actually go faster than Bluno, when Bluno knows the 6 powers with his shade, and Luffy is able to beat him with the gear second. Now obviously there is a drawback to this, and that means that Luffy can only use this for a somewhat amount of time, and he has a limit on how long he can keep it going for before he starts to see any like repercussions for this. But that being the case, that is the bottom line of gear second on what it can actually do. Now gear third is where he actually blows air into his pretty much his bones, making him bigger. So he puts his thumb in his mouth, and then he blows into it, making his arm absolutely huge, and he uses this against Rob Lucci in the NS Lobby arc. And pretty much the drawback to this is when he actually does use it, it makes him become a very small person for the very first time. Now obviously after time skip, when he's using this, he does somewhat have a, I want to say he's able to cope with it a bit more. So like the repercussions for using this technique, he does know how to handle it a lot better, thanks to the time skip of him training with Rayleigh and all that jazz. But that being the case, it's an actual very powerful move when he combines it with armament haki, and he's actually in the Colosseum in the Dressrosa arc, and he's using it against Don Chin Jiao, and those two have those massive haki, armament haki fists. They're smashing. That is an amazing scene actually, because there's just electricity going everywhere. It's like, love it. But that being the case, you do have other gears. That is gear fourth. And gear fourth is like a mixture of all of his different types of techniques that he showcased beforehand. And basically Luffy coats his arms in armament haki, and then pretty much it's like his arms are covered in armament haki, his legs will be covered in armament haki. He's got the speed from gear second coming along, and he actually has somewhat of a more bulkier stance because he's using some of the technique from gear third. Now this makes him incredibly powerful, and he's able to perform techniques like the King Kong gun, where he literally just has a big ass bloody arm and he just boom, smash. and that thing is able to take out most people, and he uses it against Don Quixote de Flamingo. It's bloody awesome, I love it. He does use Gear 4th very, very effectively against Katakuri, and to be honest, I love that fight. It's just OP as hell. Now, the actual name of one of the forms in Gear 4th is called Bound Man, and that's the one that I just described right now. Now, Bound Man is pretty much a warping of his body because he is pretty much rubber, and he's able to use obviously the King Kong gun and all that jazz and go at some pretty damn good speeds. His legs just stay the same, it's really just his upper half that gets bigger and armament hackied up. But obviously the legs are armament hackied up as well. And he gets some nice cool tribal tattoo type things because of his armament hacky. I don't know how he managed to form his armament hacky like that, but it looks cool, so I'm gonna let that go. Now there is another one of the Gear 4th, and it's called Tank Man, and that is when he's exceedingly huge, like pretty much his entire body is exceedingly huge, and he uses this one against Cracker, and he actually defeats Cracker using the Tank Man form of Gear 4th. Now I personally found this one to be a really weird one and not very, like, it was helpful in that fight. I don't think it would be helpful in many of his, or many fights so in the future, mainly because he's just an absolute bloody mass of rubber, and it's just I don't know. I really just don't know about that one. It's going to be one of those ones where I'm literally like, I wonder how this one will play out. But that being the case, there is one last one that did get showcased, and that is Snake Man, and that's the one that he used against Charlotte Katakuri. And basically, Gear 4th's known name of Snake Man is, unlike his other two Gear 4 forms, Luffy does not signify. He basically does not get huge, and pretty much he does still have all the armor hacky and all that jazz. He just doesn't use the Gear 3rd pumpingness of it, and he still gains the same amount of body. Like, there's no distortion to his body in that form of Snake Man. And pretty much I do find this actually quite cool, because I do like Snake Man. I think that is brilliant, and he does use this one against Katakuri, and he does use this one to actually beat Katakuri. Now obviously Snake Man is absolutely insane, and personally I would love to see it again in like Wano or something. Now this form obviously increases his attack speed, and I do find this one to be absolutely amazing. It's kind of like a Gear 2nd overload. That's how I would describe Snake Man. It's just Gear 2nd mixed with armor haki and just completely insanely fast. It's just like, he could keep up with pretty much anyone, and he kept up with Charlotte Katakuri with that, and I really did love this one, and that's why I want to see him more in Wano, because I really want to see Snake Man just shown and showcased a bit more. Maybe he'll use it against Kaido if he fights Kaido. So I really want to see more of this devil fruit, and to be honest, the rubber fruit, well, not the rubber fruit, the gum fruit is absolutely amazing, and I really do want to see it in the future. So that being the case, guys, that is the Gomu Gomu No Mi, or the gum fruit. Have a lovely rest of the day, and I shall see you in the next video tomorrow. Bye bye.